Bento cake is a single-serving cake, also known as a mini lunchbox cake. It is not more than 3 to 4 inches in diameter. So in my today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make the simplest bento cake from scratch. This recipe is for a single-serving bento cake. Enjoy this video. So we start by making the cake itself. In a bowl, I measured out 80 grams of butter or margarine, and I have 80 grams of whole egg. Okay, now this egg, I separated the egg yolk from the albumen. Okay, so I'll be keeping the albumen or the white part of the egg separate, then add the yolk to the butter that I measured. Now to this yolk and butter, I added my sugar, 70 grams of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of white vinegar, half teaspoon of baking powder. This was followed by half to 1 teaspoon of flavor. I used butterscotch. You can use vanilla, fine. So I added 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and then I kept that aside. The next thing I did was to whisk the egg whites. I whisk the egg white till stiff peak. So during the whisking of this egg white, I added 1/8 teaspoon cream of tartar. This cream of tartar is going to help to boost the stiffness of this egg white. Okay, or what you can do is your sugar, you can divide your sugar into 2 parts. Add half part of the sugar into the buttercream, then the remaining half you can then use this to stiffen this egg white. So whichever way you want, fine. So once your egg whites reach the stiff peak, we kept it aside. Now to the butter mixture, you have to cream the butter mixture very well. So I creamed this butter mixture very well. While I creamed the butter mixture, I added my flour. I use all-purpose flour, sifted all-purpose flour. You can also use a cake flour. It works perfectly okay. So I use 80 grams of all-purpose flour. So I added the flour in 2 batches and made sure I cream thoroughly. If you have an electric hand mixer or a stand mixer, it will work out fine. Okay, remember what you are making is a bento cake for just 1 person. So this cake will fit in our 4 inches cake pan. Yeah, so the next thing, I added my the whipped egg white into the buttercream and the flour, the batter I already made, and gradually and gently fold in the egg white. Make sure you don't over mix or overfold this so that you don't clap down or don't bring down the air that you have trapped into this cake that will enable this cake to rise. So I transferred the cake batter into a grease pan, and I baked in my preheated oven at 150 degrees C for 55 minutes, and the cake came out very soft and delicious. So the next thing, I placed the cake on a cooling rack and allowed the cake to cool down completely. You can see how fluffy and how beautiful this cake is. So once my cake was cooled, I did a very little and simple buttercream frosting for the cake. Remember, it's just a lunchbox cake. You may choose to design it beautifully. You may choose to just give it a little kind of design. It's a dessert cake, yeah. Just something you can serve somebody or some persons in an occasion or something, just in a pack. You have to, when you are done, just put it in a pack and just give it out to people. Okay. This cake is basically mostly common in some countries like Korea, Japan, China, and all that. But in Nigeria, it has been trending for some time now, and I wanted to just bring it to your notice. I know a lot of us must have come across it one way or the other, but I just decided to do this. I did a very little easy buttercream. So for this buttercream, I used 50 grams of butter or margarine, and then use 100 grams of icing sugar. That's all. Then added a little of milk to loosen it out. Then use it to cover or ice or cook or frost this cake. Okay, just a little design, and this design I didn't I didn't go ahead to go and to give it a beautiful design just like that. I just used what I have at the moment and just manipulated it to make the design. Once you're done with your decoration, if you have a refrigerator, you can pop this into the refrigerator, let it stay for some time, like some minutes, so that it will chill up. Okay, then you can then put or place in your box, your lunch box. But if you don't have a refrigerator, just go ahead, carefully place this in a box. Make sure that the box you're going to use will be a little bit wider than the cake. Then you can just place it in a box. Maybe if since it's a 4 inches cake, you can use a 6 inches or 5 inches box, place it in, then you are ready to serve this cake. Hope this recipe was helpful. So please don't forget to like, subscribe and share.